Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about this new study that right here, it finds that the ocean floor is a reservoir of plastic pollution, and it's the world's first study about plastic pollution in the ocean floor. So ENN.com, their articles are nothing really. That's it. But it is a headline there. It's a headline a lot of places. This is an Aussie station, Times of India, right here. Study shows that the ocean floor has turned into a reservoir of plastic pollution. And this is April 8th, 2024. Today is the 9th. And right here, never heard of EUREK alert, but right here, ocean floor, a reservoir of plastic pollution. And it was also covered by Interesting Engineering. They say here that 11 million tons of plastic sits on the sea floor. That's that's right here. A new study takes a deep dive into the plastic pollution problem in the ocean. They act like this is kind of a surprise. Okay, ocean floor, a reservoir of plastic pollution. So it says that new research from CSIRO, which is Australia's National Science Agency, and the University of Toronto in Canada, estimates up to 11 million metric tons of plastic pollution is sitting on the ocean floor. So, it was published in Deep Sea Research Part 1. And so right here is that CSIRO that is headlined right there. And this is right here, April 5th, 2024, news release. And so trust me, you can read these articles. They all really say the same thing. These articles always do. So we'll just take it from their website here. Right, again, it says 11 million tons of plastic is sitting on the ocean floor. They say right here that every minute a garbage truck's worth of plastic enters the ocean. With plastic use expected to double by 2040, understanding how and where it travels is crucial to protecting marine ecosystems and wildlife. No, it's not. No, it's not. We don't need to know how and where it travels. You know what you need to do? You need to end your use of plastics, and then we wouldn't have them anywhere, including a truck's worth being dumped into the ocean every minute, a garbage truck's worth. But, there was, doctors involved in this study. Like, how much money did they spend on a study to determine that a lot of the pollution, I'm assuming it's more than plastic, including plastic pollution, would, end up on the ocean floor? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. But Dr. Denise Hardesty, senior research scientist with CSIRO, said this is the first estimate of how much plastic waste ends up on the ocean floor, where it accumulates before being broken down into smaller pieces and mixed into ocean sediment. And so right here, this is keywords, first estimate. Okay, so everything they're talking about here is an estimate. So Denise says that we know that tens of millions of tons of plastic waste enter our oceans every year, but what we didn't know is how much of this pollution ends up on the ocean floor. Right here, we discovered that the ocean floor has become a resting place or reservoir for most plastic pollution, with between 3 to 11 million tons of plastic estimated to be sinking to the ocean floor. So There was another Miss Alice ZHU, a PhD candidate from the University of Toronto, who led the study. We have doctors and PhDs. This is their science. It's just kind of amazing, and how much money was spent on this. But, they said the estimate of plastic pollution on the ocean floor could be up to 100 times more than the amount of plastic floating on the ocean surface. Okay, that's that's not really a surprise. So, the ocean surface is a temporary resting place of plastic, so it is expected that if we can stop plastic entering our oceans, the amount would be reduced, right? However, our research found that plastic will continue to end up in the ocean, which becomes a permanent resting place or sink for marine plastic pollution. So, wait, but right here, if we can stop plastic from entering our oceans, that amount would be reduced. The problem with this is no one has allowed that since November of 93. We wouldn't be talking about this problem. And how much money went into this study? Because nobody has allowed solutions for decades, so this wouldn't even be an issue. We could actually, be putting money into more important problems, I guess. So they say that scientific data was used to build 2 predictive models to estimate the amount and distribution of plastics on the ocean floor. One based on data from remote operated vehicles and the other from bottom trawls. So they say that the ROV results reveal that plastic mass clusters around continents, around half, 46% of the predicted plastic mass on the global ocean floor resides above 200 meters depth. The ocean depths from 200 to 11,000 meters contains the remainder of the predicted plastic mass, which is 54%. But, this makes sense because plastic, would be around the continents because that's where it's getting dumped into the ocean. And so 200 meters and 1,100 meters for, feet people. 200 meters is 656 feet, and 11,000 meters is 36,000 plus feet, which is about the depth of the deepest part of the ocean, the Marianas Trench. So, that's to be expected. The trash in this part of the ocean will probably just continue to increase as ocean circulations, move all the mass that's around the continents, around the oceans more. It'll continue to move out there. But right now, that's how it is. And that makes sense. And it says right here that although the inland and coastal seas cover much less surface area than the oceans, these areas are predicted to hold as much plastic mass as does the rest of the ocean floor. But right, that just makes sense because that's where it's getting dumped in, but the circulation will move it more to these if they keep spending money studying this. So, this is ridiculous. Understanding the driving forces behind the transport and accumulation of plastics in the deep ocean will help inform source reduction and environmental remediation efforts, thereby reducing the risk that plastic pollution may pose to marine life. Understanding the driving force behind transportation and accumulation of plastic? No. All of your energy should be into the solution that you call for, which is if we stop plastic entering our oceans, the amount would be reduced, and if only that would happen. So I try, people. I try to get this to happen. Who am I hitting up now? I'm gonna do a video. Dershowitz, right? He's got the Dersh show out there, and he's about Bobby Kennedy, and Bobby's about the environment, and so is Alan Dershowitz. And I'm like, well, Bobby's not really, and voters need to know that, Alan. So will you use your voice? The independent media won't. Otherwise, we could get this done. G. Edward Griffin, Mr. Red Pill You. He's a pretty, I'm not sure insulting's the word. Um, I'll do a video about him too. He won't red pill you on this or give you solutions to stop all the plastics and the toxins and the chemicals because, global warming's not real. So, but right now, this is big news. There's a lot of plastic on the ocean floor, and we're spending a lot of money, and they're making excuses as to why we're spending this money so that we understand. We already know how it's being transported and how it would accumulate. How about we just put our energy into solving the problem? But that would be too simple. Stay tuned, people.